Today I'm going to be making some stuffed eggplant pickles. What I'm going to start with is what actually I've already done. I've already washed my eggplants with cold water. And, well, your first step is to actually cut the tops off. So just carefully peel the very top off. And you can see it's nice and clean at the top. You want to create a slit like from the lower, like halfway into it. So my slit is about this long. So you create, you cut into them. Make sure you go in deep enough so it just, you can actually see it a little better now. So that's one. And I've already done a few here. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna continue cooking these, and then I'll come back and show you guys how I boil them. Alright, so I want to show you guys what I have going here. I have in this big bowl, I have some cold water out the faucet. It doesn't have to be ice cold, it's just cold water. And over here, I have my boiling water. It's almost boiling water. So I'm gonna start dropping my eggplants into the water. Okay, so now that they're all inside the water, what I've been doing is I'm just turning them inside the pot, making sure that all the sides of the eggplant, get to be in the water. So this is 10 minutes later. My 10 minutes are almost up. So about 15 more seconds. 10 minutes into the water, and I'm getting ready to remove them. And they're gonna go straight into my cold water. So I've got a big strainer here. So I'm just gonna strain. And go here. Same thing now. From the hot water into the cold water. So the first load has been sitting in the water for about 5 minutes now, and my next load is almost done. So you take these out the water, try to squeeze out as much water as possible. Alright, so these have almost been cooking for 10 minutes now, only like 20 seconds to go. So what I have done is I replaced my water, my old water from the first batch here, with more cold water, because you don't want this to cook from hot water and then you don't want to put it in more hot water, because that will keep it cooking and you don't want it to cook over. And I'm getting ready to do the next load, which will be my last load. Oops. So my eggplants are nice and cooled. I have some salt sitting next to my eggplants, and I'm gonna go ahead and stuff my eggplants with about 1 tablespoon of salt. You wanna press the salt in and try to get it in everywhere. And you just close it. Looks nice and ready, and you put it inside of your strainer. So you just want to make sure you layer them inside of your strainer. The reason you put them inside of a strainer is because you want the water to be able to come out. So it drains overnight. I'm going to leave mine overnight, and so the next morning, a lot of the salt water is going to come out, which is why you add more salt into your stuffing. So even though this seems like a lot of salt, it's not. It just makes the eggplants taste so much more sweeter. I just finished putting all the salt inside of my eggplants, and I can already see some of the salt water coming out of the strainer. I'm gonna go ahead and put a nice sized dish, whatever that you can fit over your strainer, and I'm gonna put two weights on top of it, which equal 10 pounds. It's 5 pounds in each weight. You can put anything on top. You can do a gallon of milk. You can do a heavy bag of sugar or salt, just whatever that you can find that's really heavy to lay on top of them, which helps them drain properly. My eggplants, and you can definitely see all the salt that came out It like, I kept draining it overnight, but a lot of the salt comes out. And just get your bowl off, and ta-da! So these are ready to be pickled. Here I have a big bag of walnuts. I'm gonna take my meat tenderizer and crush these up. Take your crushed walnuts. I'm ready. So you wanna get your parsley finely chopped like this. And you know, you just add your parsley into here. Over here I've got some red pepper and I've got some orange pepper. So I'm gonna be chopping these very small so they can go into my mixture. I've added my yellow pepper or orange pepper and my green pepper. I have my walnuts in here. I'm mixing everything together. I'm gonna be adding some salt. About that much salt. Even though the eggplants have salt in them, you still want to add a generous amount of salt to your stuffing. And mix this together. I'm going to be doing my stuffing in 2 halves. So half of my stuffing is going to have some chili peppers or some sriracha sauce and garlic. And this half is not going to have, like, one of the halves is going to be just like this. So the kids can have it without it being spicy and garlicky. And this is my second half, so this is where my hot sauce is going. I've already added some garlic. So I'm also going to add some hot sauce. A good amount of hot sauce. So you take your eggplant. You can tell it's still a little bit damp. And you stuff it. Try to make sure that it goes in everywhere. Push it in with your fingers. Put it in your jar. And move on. So once you have your jars ready like this, you put all your eggplants on the inside. I don't have the thin fabric, so I'm using a 2-layer paper towel. I'm going to put that on the top like this. And you can either use a rubber band or you can use the lid and put it over the top. Screw it tightly like this and you tip it over. It has been 2 hours and not much water has drained, but I'm just gonna take off all the excess and remove this. Now, this is the fun part because you're pretty much done. I'm adding some extra virgin olive oil. Using my extra virgin olive oil. Oops, oops, oops. Spilled it everywhere. Alright, I'm going to leave a little bit of space because the eggplants do expand. So, close this back up, tight seal, and you guys,